Okay, let's just go ahead and dive on in here, shall we? So we've got an Esper control deck here. This deck has a little bit of a unique aspect to it in that there's a bit of an exile sub-theme here to leverage both Ashiok and Kaya's ultimate abilities. So we're playing Agonizing Remorse, and a lot of our removal spells are focusing on exiling here as well. I don't think this is too big of a deal, because Eat to Extinction, for example, compared to Murderous Rider, not only is exiling useful, but Eat to Extinction's a kind of Hero's Downfall style effect that we can find with Narset, whereas Murderous Rider, we can't. It might be wrong to not have 2 Dream Trawlers in here. I think I might jam a second Trawler in here, probably cut this cage. So let's go ahead and dive on into some matches with this and see how it goes. That's a good thought. Playing 0 conquers death could be a mistake. That card's very, very good. We take a peekaboo and think about things we might want to cut for that. El Gato Tremendo, thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. How was Blue Black Control the other day? It was deck of the day. It was really, really good. As always, you can find my favorite decks every single day on my website here. Morning, gamers. I mean, I don't even think Cage is very good. Like, this deck's got 3 Kayas in the 75, so, like, in the matches where Cage is good, Kaya is stellar. I don't know. Trimming a 2-mana spell for a 5-mana spell is, like, not exactly a clean exchange. It was because of the Dismal Backwaters. The Dismal Backwaters were more good than bad, to be fair. To be fair, they were quite excellent in a number of spots. Looks like an Esper control mirror. Settle in, chat. It's going to be a bit. Main deck Veto looking good here to start. They named Teferi Time Raveler, so I assume that means they're planning to Time Raveler next turn, huh? We will veto them. To draw 2 cards here, though. That's super powerful. Scry 2, draw 2. Seems real good. Drawing a second copy of Shatter the Sky feels pretty exceptionally bad here. Yes, yeah, it's also another saga that plays well with Teferi. Because you like, pick it back up after it draws you 2 cards, then it gets to draw you 2 more cards potentially later. Yeah, that's fine. Hey, Stilphinex, thanks for the 32 months. To be fair, we've played Vanifier in Standard a number of times before. I think I'm keeping that, I just need a 5th land. This puts the shields down for a turn, but like, with Eat and Despark and another Shatter in my hand, I think I just 1-for-1 this here, because that token attacking and exiling cards off my deck is not stellar for me. Hey, glad to hear it, Devermon. What's going on, Manny? I would encourage you, if you want to get creator dollars from Wizards of the Coast, to like take my name and keep it as far away from your submission as possible. That would be my recommendation to you. Do I intervention this? I could just Despark this and then Shatter the Sky. Because I kind of want to kill this anyways, but then they get to draw a card. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to counter this. I think I might Shatter anyways, just to keep this token out of the mix. Or I get to do that. That's a perfect draw. So now I get to down tick on their token, which gets rid of it. Now they have to exile a card from their hand. Well, I mean, if I didn't counter it, I'd Despark it, I think. We'll see if they have an answer to Ashiok here or not. If they don't, Ashiok's going to win the game very quickly. This 0-4 doesn't matter because these exile 2 cards when they attack. As the relevant text. This is my hand. It's pretty reasonable. And they're on empty. Okay. And their scries and surveils don't matter, right? Because we're exiling cards off the top of their deck here. Is that it's an Elspeth's Nightmare. Okay. I really like Elspeth's Nightmare, but I really feel like this card's not quite competitive. The chapter 1s and chapter 2 really just don't Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 really just are rarely good against the same decks, I feel. I don't think I really care if they're blocking, so I could Oath to finish that, but I don't think we need to. I'd rather save Oath to like kill a 3-mana Teferi or a Narset if they peel one. I don't know, I think I'd rather threaten Ashiok ultimating. Like, Ashiok ultimating is game winning at this point, right?
There is little as exquisite artistry of doom. My inspiration, recoil to the recess of your mind.
Deckmaster does not still have new cards. I actually put on my to-do list this morning that I need to contact the maintainer of that to find out if they'll let me become the maintainer. And if they're not going to let me become the maintainer, I'm planning to spend time to fork and put up my own Deckmaster server this weekend. Or not this weekend, some point soon. I don't think this weekend will be possible, but before the next set release at the very least. I'm sure they're just busy with other things, but like updating the card database should be trivial. Yeah, Cardboard Live's not open source, so I can't use it. They don't have a Linux installer. So Shatter's an easy cut. Legion's End's an easy cut. Oath of Kaia's an easy cut. I can't imagine it's hard to like I have server space I can put the thing on. The most annoying part will be you have to apply through Twitch to put your extension into their thing. And hopefully the person who maintains it now will just be reasonable, just be like, yeah, here you have permission to like update card databases on whatever server they have it on now. Alright, we need one more cut here. Maybe I don't need this many Devout Decrees. Maybe this card's not actually good enough here. You need some number of sweepers as an answer to Dream Trawler. Nah, I've got Disdainful Stroke, and I've got Agonizing Remorse, and I've got my own Dream Trawler. I don't know. Do I? I'm not convinced this card is good. Maybe I do leave in like a pair of Shatters. Sure. Well, Despark doesn't beat Trawler. Trawler protects itself. Yeah, Deckmaster is open source in Syndium. I just haven't forked it and set up my own thing yet because you also have to like apply through Twitch to get an extension added to the Twitch itself. So it's not just as easy as like forking it and putting it on my own server and changing the URLs and stuff. I'd recommend looking at other Esper lists that are floating around if you don't have Ashiok for this deck list. Like, this deck's made a number of small concessions to try and leverage Ashiok's ultimate by having extra cards that exile. And I definitely don't have any strong feelings on whether or not this build of Esper that we're playing is good with those small concessions, but I think without Esper, a number of the choices in this deck list don't make sense if you don't have Ashioks. Always lead on Teferi, because if he resolves, everything else after him tends to resolve. I feel like the old adage of hitting your land drops being the most important thing in Control Mirrors doesn't really apply directly anymore. Like, it's definitely part of it, but it's not the most important part anymore, I don't think. There's so many, like, must-answer cards that, like, put players in really terrible positions. I don't think that's really... Hey, well, good to have you, R-Large. Glad to hear you're enjoying it. Okay, so I think I do this, and then I do this. Obviously not bouncing there. Conquers Death. Oh, you know what, though? I can't actually hold up Disdainful Stroke next turn, huh? Because this is going to trigger? That's awkward. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't have played Teferi. I should have gone tapped land, pass with 4 mana Disdainful Stroke. Because if they Trawler me here, I'm in a world of hurt. So second chapter makes our non-creature spells cost 2 more. Yeah, I could Mail Branch, but then, like, a discard spell or any other second threat puts us in a bad spot, and they don't currently have anything in their discard pile, so... So, it's fine to just let this happen, because it was effectively just a 1-for-1. No, this isn't Eldest Reborn. They can't take my Teferi. It's not how that card works. It's only their graveyard. I think I just sacked this right away to scry. I don't have anything else to do with my mana. Perfect. That's not strictly true, Dallas, because I could Banishing Light the Conqueror's Death if that was the case. Like, if they had Trawler there, the game was just over and I couldn't win. So, I think not holding up Disdainful Stroke was a mistake. I'm going to take the Agonizing Remorse here, but I'm going to hold up counterspells rather than play this. Like, in a position like this where I feel like I'm ahead, the question I want to be asking myself is, how do I lose this game? And I think the answer to that question is, I tap out and they peel a Trawler. Just don't want to give them the opportunity to peel a Trawler here. You cannot prime. So things that adjust the casting cost of things don't adjust the converted mana cost. Scribe bottom, bodes well for us. Yeah, I think am I in for that? Maybe I'm not. I was gonna say, I want a second black for this castle eventually, but my hand is so full I don't really need it now, right? So I want to prioritize taking things out of their graveyard that Conqueror's Death could get back.
From here on out.
I have no idea.
You'll thank me later.
This Teferi doesn't do anything. Wub, 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 wub. No. No. Anybody else hungry? Feeling a little peckish. Yay, prison cards. Yay, magic's fun. Yay, prison. It's garbage time. You don't have to go home, but you can't play here. So do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Be gone.
Be gone. Opponent can get out of jail by conceding. You're not wrong. I appreciate you, Pansy. You saying it's Trawler time summoned this to the top of our deck. I appreciate you looking out for us. Just getting started, Anti-Trumpet. Can we get a Kaya kill? Yeah, probably. They're actually dead next turn, right? Because this exiles 2, so Kaya's gonna deal 11. We're gonna smack them for 7, and then Kaya deals 11. Give him the dagger. Give him the dagger. Sha. Pretty good. Pretty good. Did I want some Conqueror's Death? We talked about Conqueror's Death. Eight or 6, 12, 13, 14. Ooh, I should look at the mana in this deck real quick. Why are there black castles in my control deck? That probably doesn't make sense. So there's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 black sources in this deck that has no double black cards. And there's 8, 12, 13, 14 white sources in my deck that has double white shatter. So my mana doesn't currently make sense. So let's fix that. Let's cut these castles. And I don't understand what this deck is doing. It seems to have multiple win cons, right? Yeah, castle's a triple, black castle a triple black card. Yeah. So I cut 2 black sources there. So like that's 14 black. So 14 black's appropriate. So adding white sources here makes sense. So this castle's actually probably fine in my control deck. How many blue do I have? I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have 16 blue. 16 blue is probably fine. I have 6 temples. That's probably enough temples. I could just go up a plains. All right, just adding a second basic plains. Now, if I want Conqueror's Death, how would I want to fit Conqueror's Death in here? Is Legion's End very good right now? I guess it's fine against like the Knights decks. It is fine against the Weenie deck, that's true. Cry's not actually very good, right? A lot of the aggro decks get bigger than this card. I kind of like the idea of Legion's End in the sideboard and like a couple of Conqueror's Death in the main. Just like very little respect for aggro because aggro's not like super around right now. I'm sure now that I'm saying that we're going to queue into a bunch of aggro and get run down, but Spectre Shriek exiles a black card. This might not be necessary either. I can't imagine the Black Devotion matchup is super hard for this deck. Like we have Kaya and stuff like that. Like I have 3 Kayas. I'm not really worried about the cats. Yeah, I added a Trawler. I'm gonna add a Decree and I'm gonna add a Disfigure. Where can you see the deck list? You can always see the deck list by typing !deck in chat, or by using the Stream Decker icon that's on your screen. If you're on mobile, there's a little SD icon. I'm going to update that with the changes we just made here in a second. All right, deck list is now on Stream Decker with the changes we made. How good is Thassa's Intervention? Thassa's Intervention is absurd, and you should be playing a lot of them. The reason why Thassa's Intervention is good is because even though we're largely a tap-out deck, like you said, it's just a draw spell. So it's a card that is a counterspell when it's good to be a counterspell, and it's not a counterspell when your counterspell's not good. That's why that card is powerful. How long have we been playing this deck for? About 25 minutes. About another hour or so. Another control mirror, buckle up. Maybe not. We've seen some basically Simic decks that are splashing black for discard. Yeah, that Thassa's Intervention is like subtly one of the best things out of the new set. Alright, so exiling this Titan looks good here, and then they play Nissa next turn, and we just like curl up in a little ball and cry.
Didn't see a door, so I let myself. I'm gonna make myself scarce.
Oh man, you know what? People always ask what cards do I hope they print into... What cards do I hope they print into the new... into Historic directly? I really hope they print, I hope they print 4-mana Kaya into Historic. I think that card would be gasoline. I'd love that card in Pioneer too, if I'm being honest, but I would settle for it in Historic. What is 4-mana Kaya? Does anybody know what the text is? Is it Kaya? Someone pull up the text in chat. Is it Ghost Assassin? I think that's a Planeswalker that's like borderline safe to print into Standard easier. Yeah, it doesn't have any pluses. Alright, I think we just play Hungry Hippo here. Gonna bin that, looking for a land for this Ashiok since they stone rained us with Casualty of War. Watch you whenever I'm not on the road, you deserve the $5 entertainment fee. I appreciate that, Frantic Reverend. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. Kinda punished by the Hydroid Crisis for not desparking the Cavalier, but the Surveil off the Eat was important, and using all my mana was valuable. When in the world have you played that card? Did you draft Conspiracy 2? I played it in Legacy. Played it in really bad Dead Guy Ale decks in Legacy.
Strange and magnificent world.
Feeling kind of dead here.
The land fights for us.
Opponent's deck is definitely bigger and greedier than ours. It's a tough sell here for us. I guess I'm just playing this and plussing it. Can chump block and it's not dead on board, I suppose. Yeah, Casualty is one of those cards, I think I agree, it's mostly fine. It just, like, feels better than it is because of how pushed everything is surrounding it. I think it's definitely the case. Its supporting roles are all real good. Yeah, the opponent's deck's a good example of the arms race to the top. Yeah, all they're just every single card 2-for-1 does. They're just trying to go bigger than all the other ramp decks, and we're just a casualty of the ramp war, chat. In both the literal and figurative sense. People are so stupid. I hate people. They're the worst. People are responding to that Pioneer board state I tweeted that are like, Burning Tree is the problem. It's like that hand literally cast the Galta without the Burning Tree Emissaries. Just like, y'all need to get off my lawn. Y'all need to get off my lawn. Alright, easy creases. Well, we took their big cards. I took a break, Magical Cow. I've been back for a little bit. Took my account back over earlier this year. Now instead of responding to most of the people that tweet dumb things at me, I just block them. Makes my life a lot easier. So, my block list is bigger, but, you know, I get to use the account. I think I'm actually in for both of these, huh? Like, I want a 5th land, and I want E2 Extinction as a backup plan for later. Alright, hold on. But I do get to do things like this and dunk on MTG Arena, though. So, just for a moment. Weird that people like iconic reprints. Almost like you should make sure to give borderless options to cards that are very likely to be popular. Weird. That's the upside to having my Twitter account, is I get to dunk on the corporate media. Like, I would really like to know who's in charge of picking. I think I'm bottoming this. I'm looking for a thread at this point. I'd really like to know who's in charge of, like, picking which cards get borderless options. Don't Mystic Dispute me, bro. And again, just like good examples of how these matchups are just so hard for decks like ours. Like, we've done a really good job answering all their things this game, but now, like, this Cavalier, like, I have the answer to the Cavalier, but the Cavalier drew them an Uro, right? Like, they gave the best escape card to the color that has the best escape enabler in it. This is an incredibly good find. Yeah, Trawler, I mean, Trawler might win this for us. Like, this attacks for 6 and also draws them a card and gains them a life, right? Like, they also have a Dream Trawler. If I don't find another E2 Extinction ASAP, we're in a lot of trouble here. Simic never runs out of gas because they're the fart guild. That's great. I appreciate you. All right, they only have one card in their bin, so Ashiok's a good draw. I'm saying there's a chance. So they get to cycle this, but they don't get to recast it, right? Maybe I'm supposed to play this land here. Yeah, this is the part where we're in the game till they draw Hydroid Graces. God bless America, my country. 'Tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. I forgot the part where they draw the Nissa before they draw the Krasis and crush us. I forgot the part where they draw. Thank you for the half a year, Humble Greek. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright, so let's scry with this before we draw a Trawler. See if we can get an answer here. This is where the magic happens, chat. Yeah, I think I'm in for that. We'll just kill Nissa over 2 turns with 2 attacks. They're playing black for Casualties of War.
I will endure.
I will endure. So this Hydroid Krasis is going to be for 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So the Krasis is going to literally just draw them an entire new hand. Hey, Kent RJ, thank you for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around.
My elemental friend.
Holy gosh, chat. I think their deck might be broken. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hand. We'll make it, I swear. Do 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 do. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to pay 3 and take a row there. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to pay 3 and take a row there. That might be right. I didn't pay because I want to scry. I think Whirlwind Denials could help combat Krasis. I don't know. I think in situations exactly like this, Whirlwind Denial's fine. I think in a lot of situations in the early game, we're gonna draw Whirlwind Denial when we'd rather have a card that could impact the board, and it's gonna kill us. Yeah, I think Narset is better than Whirlwind Denial. Narset's the card that lets us stop them from peeling Krasis to kill us. Too much logic must sub. Thanks for the 7 months, Invictius. Welcome back. If they start making some wolves here, they can escape this Uro back eventually. Yeah, Trawler. So the second Trawler was a good add to the deck. Trawler's going to keep us in this game for sure. think I'm just gonna Ashiok and start plussing here. Yeah, the second trawler might be a good main deck. Second trawler main is probably reasonable. Guard's the real deal. All right, let's see if we can get fortunate here again. We might want a third Narset in the 75 too, just because of how important she is at stopping Krasis from getting us. That could be a real thing. Yeah, needs a second white source, but we got a Scry land and we're on the draw. Got a discard spell on 2. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, it's a slog, but the support for... How sick is it? The fact that this Agonizing Remorse is not Thought Erasure, letting us dodge Dispute here, is huge. Rank 278. I am a powerful wizard who is able to win matches of Magic with the decks people send me. That's an interesting thought. I don't know if I agree with that. I agree that Legion's End is fine against Krasis. It's only okay against Nissa, though. I don't know that, like, having it for, like, exactly after Krasis is good enough. I think I'm gonna take the Narset here. Because if they Nissa kill Narset here, I can Conquer's Death the Nissa, and then it brings back the Narset. Uro also isn't good against Narset. Yeah, I don't know if I want 3 in the main, but there should definitely be 3 Narsets in this 75. Okay. Wow, yeah. Huh. Alright, let's take a peekaboo at this again, huh? Yeah, Remorse was very good. The fact that Remorse was Remorse and not Erasure has been relevant in a lot of really small edge cases. I feel like I'm okay with this for main deck stuff. Feels reasonable. I think I want another Narset in my sideboard. Sounds good, Maddie. I'm going to trim the Noxious Grasp. I don't actually think Noxious Grasp is that good against these blue-green decks in a world where I think Despark and Conquer's Death and like Eat to Extinction are all better than Grasp at the moment. Gosh, maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves because we could hit Dumpster Fires and die from here, but if we win like our next 2 or 3 matches with this deck, am I supposed to play Constructed Events so we can finish in the top 1200? I wasn't going to worry about it, but if we oops into it, I feel like we should probably sit on it. Like, we're not going to try hard for it. So there's not a what's it called thing? There's not a qualifier, but there is a thing where we could win 10 entire dollars worth of gems. I would eventually use 10 entire dollars worth of gems. Think of the borderless cards. Does 10-0 get you anything besides gems? It gets you mythic points. I'm actually keeping that because it gives me 3 extra looks, right? Towards a white source. Five Twitch Prime. No, it's much less than 5 Twitch Prime subs. I get $3.50 for a Twitch Prime subscription. Before taxes, obviously, but you know. Yeah, smaller streamers get 50%. When you hit a certain size on Twitch, you get a better contract. All right, this is the opposite side of this deck. We played against some bigger decks and we beat them. Now we're playing against someone trying to go under us and could be in a bit of trouble. Ivo, thank you for the tier 2 resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Who even pays taxes? Everybody. Akil Damal, thank you for the brand new. Thank you for the brand new sub gifties. Welcome, welcome. We'll need that white source. Papi! Yeah, as an individual, I pay taxes. And the individuals pay taxes. So far, Remorse has been going to their hand. So that's good. Baby steps, you know?
Right on schedule. Let's try this.
Yeah, so we actually played against someone playing the Owl in Pioneer this morning with Thassa and Heliod and Ballista combo, and it seemed really sweet.
This might be a bad idea.
Because this turns on Heliod and Thassa, and it finds Walking Ballista and Heliod. Yeah, the Pioneer deck seemed really awesome that we played against. Do 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 do. I don't have a ton for white aggro. Veto seems not great. Narset, they can pressure off the table. I guess they're a little bit bigger of a deck. Despark probably doesn't have a whole lot. This seems good. Despark's very good in this format. In a format where exiling White Cavalier is relevant, Despark seems reasonable. Heliod could kill the enchantment creatures. Yeah, I guess that's true. Heliod's intervention would kill Daxos, the Owl, and they did show us Banishing Light. So maybe I am supposed to bring an intervention here. They could pull up here too. That's also a possibility. That's a very real thing that could happen. Sure. Cavalier doesn't have a spark. It has a spark in our hearts, chat, okay? It has a spark in our hearts. Was that a good draw? I feel like that might have been a good draw. We get to remorse them before the Heliod here, potentially, which is good. Hit the 4th land on time. Do I just take the Owl because I can Banishing Light the Gideon? And, like, the Owl draws them cards? I think that's the plan, right? Like, it lets them curve out here, which is not great, but I think taking their card that generates card advantage seems ideal.
Sorry I'm late.
I believe so, I Want to Rock. I believe that's the case that they have the same name. I think I'm gonna 1-for-1 this Shatter since I have 2 of them. I miss Yarok Field. Me too, Razor. Me too. Untapped land. Untapped land. Untapped land.
Your light will cleave the darkness.
Swish, chat. Swish.
Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
Hold on. Hold on, folks. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it again. That play pattern is just so gross. Hey, Trudy with the big tip. Thank you for the absurd support. I appreciate it. Whoop. Jeff is great. Buy his stuff. I appreciate it. Thanks for keeping me around. Sure. Yikes. I think I'm just gonna pass. Am I in for this? I'm just looking for a Trawler at this point, right? Like Trawler or Ashiok. I've got so many answers in my hand. Oh, and by the way, the Teferi that rebought this earlier, chat, it's about to come back into play. And then when that Teferi comes back into play, it's going to bounce this Omen to the sea, which will let me scry 2 again and draw an extra card. You know, no big deal. Oh, look, another Elspeth conquers death. Weird. Is that one good? I think I'm gonna keep and eat 2 Extinction. I've got a Conquer's Death. Let's just go bottoms. I'm looking for a Trawler, right? Let's just find a Trawler or anything else. I think we sit on this rig so we can play the gem CQ. That I'm gonna reuse that phrasing. Gem CQ. Thank you for the 9 months, Cave. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright, so I'm going to plus this.
I'll protect you.
I'm going to play this.
I am not.
Keep this. Bounce my Omen back. Agonizing Remorse. This one. Nope, didn't fix it. Apparently it's random which one it shows you first. And then we can Shatter the Sky on their turn. It shows you the one with the most legal targets. Okay, is that what it's doing? I'd believe that that's what it's doing. Bye, friend. What do we have? A week? It's a week. It's less than a week. That's exactly a week. Yeah, we can probably sit on 136, huh? We'll play out the rest of things in constructed events for the next week. Is that what I want to do? That's probably fine. I wouldn't mind farming some gold for the next set. We only have 13,000 gold. Am I overboarding for mono red for this deck? I mean, the mono red matchup's probably hard. If you look at what we have together, I've got 3 decrees, a disfigure, and Aether Gust, so we probably have fine. Probably have fine stuff in the sideboard. I think I'm pretty happy with where we ended up at overall. I think the mix of exile cards, like the answers this deck is playing, feel like they do a good job of addressing like what threats people are playing in this format. I think both Eat to Extinction and Despark are stellar right now. The exile, if you would have asked me what was going to be more relevant, the Surveil from Thought Erasure or the exile from Agonizing Remorse, I would have for sure said the Surveil from Agonizing Remorse, or the Surveil from Thought Erasure, and like the exile from Agonizing Remorse has been super relevant. The fact that like this could take random escape cards out of the graveyard when their hand's not relevant has been really, really good. Trawler's great. Don't play less than 2 Trawlers in your control deck. Conquer's Death is also absurd, not only for rebuying Trawler, but also for tricky things with Teferi. I think Kaya's really good right now too. Not only does she pressure the escape cards out of the Simic decks, but she's also very good against the Cat Oven decks that I think are still running around. Hi Shin, thank you for the Prime support, I appreciate that, welcome back. I do think a deck that's kind of underrepresented right now based on how good it is the Jund Sacrifice deck. The Jund Sacrifice deck didn't really get any cards from the new set that make it a lot better or different, but I think a lot of people have like not been exploring that anymore. But I expect like when competitive events start coming back up, we'll start seeing more Jund Sacrifice. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and I like where we ended here. Like we did some good start to finish tuning. Erebos' Intervention is okay. I don't know that I really like it over any of the other cards that we're playing right now. Removal that doesn't exile is kind of meh. Alright, what are we doing? We've got plenty more standard decks coming up here today. Even if we're done playing on the ladder, there's still constructed events we can play in. We are going to dive on in and see how far we can take my latest favorite meme up the ladder. We've got some Sultai Vanafair here. I'm going to hit a quick ad roll while I get set up for this one and get everything switched over. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Don't go anywhere. Restart the client and all that jazz, you know, the usual. If they're a good week of play, what would you consider to be the most interesting deck and which one the most fun? They can both be this one, right? I think they're both this one. This deck's been a real treat. There's a reason why we've been playing this almost every standard stream, at least once. So E2 Extinction is better than Rider. I think in the control decks it is. The fact that you can find it off of Narset and the fact that it exiles are both super relevant right now.